Hello, guys. Thank you for joining me on the Masinga podcast show. It's good having you here. What I'm learning is that I should never despise any idea, any content idea. I feel like I have this thing I should write and put it on social media because what might be small or not making sense to me or shallow might be what will get someone out of depression or fear or it put them in another level of understanding and shake them off that storm or stress or whatever it is. So never despise what you're doing. You never know. And that is why you must get out of the way and not make it about you. Just be obedient and let it flow. Remember, the greatness is already on the inside. The awesomeness, the power, the anointing, the glory, it's already there. So let it flow. Don't make the decision if it's good enough or not. Let them decide that. Remember, God already thinks you're good enough. He thinks you're amazing, you're powerful. He's giving you everything that you ever need in this life to be successful. So go ahead and let it flow. So that's what I've been learning, and you'll notice you'll have to choose which voice you're going to listen or which opinion will matter. You've ever been watching a post-game interview from the sports media, you will always see that it's the guys who never played the game who always have the most opinion. They, 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 they just have a lot to say. Or you ever sat down with guys and you're watching a football, basketball, and people who've never played, they're coaching the game while it's going on. Wewe shuka hivi, panda juu. Sasa huyu anafanya nini? Nilijua tu huyu ni mambe atauza. Down, go, block the shot. And these are people who never played. And I get, people are being enthusiastic about the game, they're expressing their views. But you'll notice it's the people who don't know, or who have the least knowledge about you. They always have the loudest opinion about who you are. They just talking. So you have to decide which voice you're going to listen, which voice you're going to value. Remember, we've said that whatever you listen shapes your reality, and that is why you only need to value the voice of God. And the reason for that is because what God thinks about you, what He says about you, what He feels about you never changes. It's a permanent thing. So while you're doing this thing, your life, your career, your music, your business, whatever it is, you have to decide which voice will matter. Which voice are you going to listen to? And just enjoy the show. Just be out there. Don't make it about yourself and let it flow like I am doing right now. And, today's podcast, I was thinking about how people say that God is evil and God is horrible. Do you know that if God was evil as they claim Him to be, then He is doing a bad job at being evil? Because if God was evil, with all His power and majesty, He would have used all His power and majesty to manipulate us. But think about it, God does not use His power, His might to manipulate man. If He was really evil, then God could have used all that power to be manipulative. But He doesn't do that. Instead, He says, I love you, Masinga. I love you. I'm going to send my son to die for you and resurrect for you. I'm deeply in love with you. That was planning this before you got here. God is not manipulative. And friends, when God does something, He does it to the max. Creation is the evidence. Look how everything was created. Look at the ocean and the moon and how they're connected with the waves and the earth and the sun spinning, and how that is, and what I'm mentioning is just a fraction of the creation. There are billions of stars and things He created. Do you think that's a poor job? Is that a mediocre job? No. Everything that God does it to the maximum, meaning that whatever He does, nobody can do it better than Him. Meaning that if God was evil, nobody would be as evil as God. God is not evil. If God was mean and evil, it would be the most meanest. It would be the most mean. uh-huh. It would be the best at that. But God, because He's a loving being, is full of love. Nobody will ever love you like God. Nobody will ever love you like Jesus. Nobody will ever love you like God. Because whatever He does it to the max. He does it the best. There's no comparison. Nobody, nothing comes close. So this is just to destroy that notion that, hey, God is evil. God is a bitter man. If God is all powerful, He should have, done something to stop Eve from biting the apple, biting the fruit. What people say. And what does that God make God to be if He actually did that? It makes Him to be a control freak. And God is not controlling. He is not controlling. He's given all of us free will. And that is how you know it is true love. Because true love will always present you with a choice. It doesn't seek to control. When someone is telling you, you'll never love another man, I'll never let you love another woman, that is not love. That's being manipulative. But God told you, hey, this is the right way to go. Enjoy everything there. But this one, don't touch it. If you touch it, you'll have some consequences. So it gives you a choice. You have things to choose from. That shows you cares for you. I mean, if there was not the other tree, then basically we're robots. And God never created a robot. Do you want your son, your wife to be a robot? They're just wired to follow everything that you say. Wake up, they just bring you water, cook, do this without thinking. But do you want the person that you're with right now to have sat down and made a decision to ignore the other men, the other women, and choose to be with you? That makes it special, right? But if they couldn't help it, if they were just wired to be with you, that's a robot. God did not create robots. It's like they cannot help it but worship me. They just have to worship. If they don't, this will happen. God is not controlling. That's why the worship is meaningful, because it's pure from the heart. You chose to do it and nobody forced you to do it. He never created a robot. He's not a control freak. One preacher said that when the end of time comes, you will really appreciate that you were given free will and the power to choose. We're not robots, friends. We're not. We're not robots. Again, really, just to address that thing where people say, hey, God is evil, God is bitter, God is controlling, He should have done this. You have a choice. However, you cannot choose the consequences of your choice. For example, when I decide to play with fire, that's my decision. I cannot choose to not feel the burn. So if I decide to do something wrong, yes, consequences, I cannot choose them. So do you see it? Friends, this is a loving and a caring God. Do you know even the way everything was created? Everything was created with man in mind. And how amazing it is that after setting up the stage, the universe, the water, the oxygen, the trees, that is when God created man. Man was the last to be created so that he can benefit from the creation of God, so that he can receive from God. That tells you how much you're loved and valued by God. But they want you to think that you're being delusional, you're crazy, you've lost your mind for believing in God. But you haven't. He's powerful, he's so real, he's so real. Was it Cat Williams? That man is a walking meme, right? Cat Williams said it was on Joe Rogan podcast, and he said that there's so much reason to believe than to doubt. So much reason to believe that God is real than to doubt. Let's give an example of a cow. Our cow has to chew, and then the first round it goes to the stomach, and then a second to the other stomach, and it chews is it called the cud? I can't remember. Just that mechanism, that simple example. You're telling me that just came from nowhere? just like that. They just erupt from nowhere. Come on, there has to be a mastermind behind this. There has to be a mastermind. So he's a good God. He's a caring God. Creation tells a story that he is very real. There's so much evidence looking at the creation, looking at the baby, just looking at your child, your son, your daughter, your father, just your friends, just how they behave, how they think, looking at the universe, the trees, how we breathe, how the body works, how the system works. How when you cut your finger, the brain sends the signal to clot that place where you've cut yourself within a fraction of a second. Just how everything works and how beautiful the mind is. I hear there are millions of neurons in the mind and how it's powerful. Just when you see how everything is wired, come on, we did not just erupt from nowhere. Actually, I think it's crazy to think that God doesn't exist. It's not crazy to think that He is real and to choose to have a relationship with Him. It's crazy to say, that person doesn't exist. Yeah, it doesn't exist. So he's very real. He's very real and powerful. And this, I was listening to a preacher some time back, and he said something that was really powerful. He said that death is the final vindicator. God tells you that, hey, don't do that. He says that, because of sin, people will die. And he was saying how people say, oh, God isn't real. That is a joke. That is a nonsense. But still, they end up dying, showing you that whatever God said is actually true. So death now becomes the final vindicator for God. Who was saying, oh, this person is not real. That is nonsense. This doesn't make any sense. You people are crazy. All those woke movements that you're following, that your kids are following. Finally, the poor, the rich, the atheist, whatever, finally, they all die. More proof that whatever I said is actually true. Right, so all the lies, all the political correctness, all that looking smart and woke comes to an end because of death. More proof that He is real and what He says is actually true. And to finish up on this podcast, I like to write them down these days to make sure that I don't leave anything out. And, I was having some financial goals and obligations and a few things I wanted to meet. And I just discovered that for me to attain that goal, what is more important is the things that I'm willing to let go than attaining more money. What's the point of me getting more money if I have poor spending habits, right? If I have poor financial choices? I'd rather work on one bad financial choice that will get me closer to the goal than trying to get more. So like what you're willing to let go brings you closer to the goal than you getting more, than you trying to get something new. Like it's more effective for you to release negative thinking than to get more positive thoughts. It's like just going back to point zero. What's the point of getting just more? I want to just think positively if you haven't let go of the negative thinking. So it is what's more important is what you're willing to release, the negative things, as compared to you getting more of that positive stuff. Going to the gym, what will really make this thing work out? It's not you pumping iron and pushing those weights. What will make it work while you're doing that? It's you willing to release the bad habit, the bad eating habits, processed food. You guys know that processed food, that's the poison. So you letting go of that will be more effective than you pumping the iron, adding an extra hour to your cardio. So let me add 2 more hours to my cardio. You're still eating bad food. It's much better when you release the bad diet and do a 30 minutes cardio. It's going to be more effective. So whatever goal it is you're doing, whatever you're trying to attain, you're going to get there quickly. You'll be more effective if you're willing to release the negative thing. What are you willing to let go? The bad thing. as compared to you trying to get more good things, more money. Uh-uh. Let me release the bad thinking habits, the bad spending habits. Before I get there, more money. The solution is never getting more. And even while I'm saying that about getting more, doing more, or trying to appear, or people work to appear a certain way and working hard, you ever heard people say that working hard really isn't just the solution? I used to watch, to make this make sense, I used to watch this singing competitions. It was American Idol, X Factor. I like the X Factor a lot. The Voice, and then you see Simon Cowell telling a contestant that you have the talent, but you're not likable. It's your likability that's in question here. You're really good, but I don't know if people are going to like you. I used to think, oh, he's a mean person. But in those terms of music and excelling, you have to be likable. And that is why you see someone who's not gifted. They're just likable. They do music and they just blows up. Or you can see a man who is proper, uh, masculine and manicured and looking sharp and tall and dark and handsome. But you cannot get to be with a pretty girl. Then you have another man there that people might think is not all that good looking, is not fit, but is easily getting the hot ladies because of the aura, because of he's already accepted who he is on the inside. So you being chill on the inside gives you a more powerful aura than you trying to work it, you to evoke it, than you trying to make people see it. Like that, the latter, or is it the former, is more powerful. You we live from within and not without. So don't depend a lot on what you can do and what they can see. Rather go and do that inside job. Just accept yourself, be confident, be chill, be relaxed. That will get you there faster too than the hard work. It's good to be hardworking. It's good to be smart. It's good to wake up every day, do your thing. Then you'll notice that aura, that presence. You ever seen someone just enter a room and they just own it? And they don't do a lot, but they just chill. They just have a powerful, and that is how I picture Jesus. Jesus was so chill and powerful. He did so many things within a span of 3.5 years. You're going to achieve a lot of things when you're relaxed and chill. And compared to you being worked up on the inside, the fears and the comparison, the insecurities. Jesus was so chill. One day he's healing, is it Jairus' daughter? On the way there, the bleeding woman, if I remember well, and then he has to cross the river to Capernaum when there was storming, and heal a man who had cast demons from a man, all in the same. And it's a long distance when you study the geographic or whatever in Israel. It's a long, and he did all of that in one day, and he was so relaxed, never worked up, and how he was so relaxed and loving and kind with his words, doing his thing, telling. Man, he was so chill and relaxed. So while you're doing whatever you're doing, learn to relax. You know that your power is from within, not without. We're not depending on the outside things to give us life. If that's the case, then anything will go. Anything will fill you with life. Could be something good, something bad. But when it's coming from within, knowing that I'm the one who is loved by the Father, who's been saved by an amazing grace, and a powerful love, and I'm chill, I'm relaxed. Even in interviews, the people who get the job are the one who are relaxed. They just chill. They don't care about the outcome. They're not trying to be in control. So you have to release control and chill and lay back and let him work. Let him work for you. Okay. All right, friends, thank you very much for joining my podcast. Please subscribe, like, share, and comment. I'll see you for the next one.